Alright, what's going on YouTube? This is Revive Slayers, and today I've made a video on tips and tricks for the Underground. This should help the newest players and the most veteran players in the game who've been playing for a while. Most of them are just tips that should help you in the Underground for performance wise, make everything a little bit faster, easier, just let you know what you're doing. Hopefully you learn something new in this and something you've not known before. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so first up we got the objective. There's always one of 6 objectives in a mission, unless it's the first mission you do in the Underground. As you can see in the top left it says the end is nigh. This is where the mission title will normally be, and as I said it can be one of 6. So the first one, we've got critical infrastructure. This one is the generator mission. A lot of you know this has been a pain in the arse, but it's actually kind of simple, but it definitely is the most time consuming mission. So this one, you basically need to just defend the generator. If the generator blows up, that's mission end. Right, GG. So you're going to need to go into one room, you need to clear a wave of enemies, you need to defend the generator against one wave of enemies, and then you need to go into a second room, clear a wave of enemies, activate the generator, and then survive against 2 waves of enemies. Then go into a third room, clear a wave of enemies, and then activate the generator and survive against 3 wave of enemies. The boss will be on the 3rd wave, so you can get some loot. This one's definitely the most time consuming one, but next up we got definitely the shortest one, Target of Opportunity. This is the one where you just gotta find the boss and kill him, but for this one you need to go into one room, kill a wave of enemies, go to a second room, kill a wave of enemies, go to a third room, and kill a wave of enemies and the boss. That's as simple as it is. There is a 20-minute timer for this one, but yeah, I mean you don't even normally run down the 20-minute timer. I think the lowest mine's ever got to is probably 10 minutes, to be honest. I mean this should be pretty simple for even the less coordinated of teams. Alright, so next up we got the Surgical Strike. This is definitely the second easiest one. You got to go to one room, kill some enemies, go to a second room, kill some enemies, like 1 wave of enemies for each of them rooms, sorry. And then you've got to go to the third room and kill 3 waves of enemies and a boss. That's as simple as it is, and there isn't a timer for this one, I don't think, either. The 4th objective, we've got supplies. I can't remember what the title is for this one, I'm sorry. But yeah, but the supplies one, you need to go to one room, destroy the supplies and kill 1 wave of enemies. You've got a 4-minute timer for the first room. The second room you'll have a 3-minute timer, you've got to destroy the supplies and kill the wave of enemies. For the third room you've got a 2-minute timer, you've got to destroy the supplies and 1 wave of enemies. Yeah, this one's pretty simple, but don't rush in for the supplies, there's no need for it unless you're on the last room. Then you may need to use an ultimate ability, the signature for the security wing. And then if you use this, you can obviously rush in and have a lot of damage resistance and just kill the supplies and get out. Yeah, this one is kind of simple, to be honest, but a lot of people rush in for the supplies when there's no need for it. Next up we got Missing Patrol. You've got to go to one room, kill some enemies, 1 wave of enemies, go to the second room, kill 1 wave of enemies, go to the third room, kill a wave of enemies, and then free the JTF officer, and then defend the JTF officer against 3 waves of enemies. This one's kind of simple, but if the JTF officer screws up, he might go into a really dodgy spot and mess your group up and he can die, which he normally won't because, I don't know, he's got like 2 million toughness or something. He's just crazy. Next up we've got Recover the Report. This one's kind of simple. Go to one room, kill a wave of enemies, go to another room, kill a wave of enemies, go to the third room, survive 1 wave of enemies, free the JTF officer, and then survive 3 wave of enemies. This JTF officer does not need to stay alive, so I mean this one's basically just a bit of an easier version of the Missing Patrol mission. So yeah, that's all 6 objective titles, so you should know them, because if you know them, your team at the start of a mission will know what they're getting themselves into, so hopefully this should help. Alright, second of all, we've got communication. Communication is key for even the most elite teams and like the most basic teams that you just match made for. Communication is going to help so much, and if you don't communicate, I mean, your team's crippled already. So first of all, with communication, you want to call out loot. This will probably bring a bit more trust to the team. If you call out loot for players, obviously they'll probably like you a bit more. And everyone just gets the loot, makes everyone happy. Make sure you call out enemies. If someone's rushing you, tell your team to focus that shotgunner. If your team's focusing a shotgunner, that shotgunner is going to drop so easily, and it's just going to, it'll just help so much. Next up, you can communicate plans. So before you engage with the enemy, and when you know what you've got yourself into, tell each other the plan. Just set up, make sure you activate all your skills, etc. And then once you're all ready, tell each other you're ready, and then just open fire. It should make things a bit easier, and everyone should be ready for when you actually start shooting. So yeah, make sure you communicate. This will help a lot. Alright, third up, we got just don't rush ahead. There's just no need for it. If you die because you rush ahead thinking you're Rambo, you're just gonna completely cripple your team. And if you die in a crappy spot, especially, your team's basically screwed. So, there's ways to fix this. Just wait at doors. There's some doors where you have to open. I mean, wait at ladders, whatever. Just don't open a door unless you know your whole team's there, so you're all ready to go in. This will help a lot. Again, just set up before engaging. Don't rush ahead. Make sure you all know when you're ready to engage. And then, don't rush the boss. There's no need to rush the boss. I mean, if the boss is a heavy and is giving you a bit of grief, whatever, if it's a rogue that constantly keeps putting seeker mines down, it can be a problem. But normally just don't rush the boss, or the objective. If there's no reason to rush the objective, if the time is pretty high, I mean, just don't panic, just stay back, just make sure you kill everyone else. And, I mean, yeah, just don't rush ahead. The amount of teams I've got into, and there's always the one guy that rushes ahead thinking is really good, and then he screws up everything for the whole team, and we have to wipe because of one guy. I mean, it's just very frustrating, and can really piss a lot of people off. Alright, fourth. Overdose before opening doors. Now, you might be thinking, why? But when you open doors in the underground, or really in any mission, enemies can run straight through the door before the door's even open. So basically, as soon as you start to open a door, that door's basically just not there for the enemy, even if it's like not even opening slightly yet for you. So this means that enemies can shoot through doors, which will really screw you up, and they'll just run straight through the doors and maybe shotgun you straight away, which, I mean, getting a team wipe for this is just, again, it's just one of them frustrating things, and it just needs to be fixed. Also, to get around this, you can pulse before you open the door. Pulsing will let you know if enemies are on the other side, obviously, so you can know if you need to engage straight away as soon as you open doors. Okay, so next up, just collect all the supplies off the ground, for example medkits, consumables, grenades. This will just help your effectiveness in missions. For example, if you've got medkits, you can obviously keep yourself up. If you've got some grenades, you can throw like tear gas at shotgunners, fire grenades at shotgunners, and this can stun them and help the team out a lot. Also, there's crafting materials in the underground. There's not many of them, but obviously if you pick these up and you've got some pretty decent blueprints, you can make some pretty good guns. Just nice to have, so you're not wasting all your division tech when you go to make blueprints. So yeah, just pick them up. Why not? They're there. They're free. Just get them. Okay, so next up we've got some hazards. There are hazards in the underground. Most of you should be aware of these. First up, there's electrical hazards. So if there's electricity on the ground, there may be a way around it, so look for a way around it. Otherwise, there can be some big red electrical boxes on the walls that kind of are hard to miss. Just shoot them and it should disable the electricity, or there couldn't be some switches on the walls to disable electricity, which again, you know, just look for them if you can't see another way around, or the boxes. There's also fire hazards. To disable these, you can use fire extinguishers on the walls, shoot the fire extinguishers and you can put out the fire. There can be water pipes above the fire that you can shoot These take a little bit longer to destroy, but I mean not that long, a few bullets from a pistol maybe. And this should disable the fire, like big blue pipes above the fire. And obviously you can look for a way around the fire. There's also bombs, IEDs, that you can find on the ground. One of these IEDs will just simply blow up and damage you a little bit. I mean, they won't normally kill you, but they will slow you down and make you bleed. And there's also the bombs that will blow up, and yeah, see that one there. My character's bleeding because I went over a bomb. Normally if you run past these fast enough you should be okay. But there's also the bomb that will disorientate you and set you on fire if you're too close to it, so just make sure you run past the bombs or shoot them before you go past them. There's also the blind traps, but I mean the blind traps, they're not real, they just don't do anything. You don't even need to avoid them. They'll probably put you off a little bit and annoy you because I mean you're blind hardly, but yeah, I mean these aren't exactly something to worry about. In the underground there's also a lot of secret loot, including loot rooms and stuff like that. But there's collectibles. Each collectible you pick up will be give you 300 XP. There's quite a few of them to pick up, so just make sure you go for them. You also get an outfit out of them from collecting all of them, which looks kind of nice. And these collectibles will normally spawn at the start of the second phase or the third phase, or they will spawn after the second combat room, after the second like main objective room. If you also think you've missed one, or you're not really sure where it is, if you've been near it already, if you get your map up, which with the button to the left of the start button, you should be able to find it on the map. You can set a waypoint to it so you can see it easily as well. Also for secret loot, there's locked doors which do require lockpicks, but I've never been low on lockpicks. I mean, it's just never been a problem. These normally have chests inside, medkits, etc. Yeah, so them chests can also spawn gear set items and high ends in the loot rooms and stuff like that. Alright, so next up we got some just annoyances. There's the jammers. Make sure you locate these jammers before you engage the enemy. These jammers, if you're close to them, will stop you from using skills, which plummets your survivability a lot. So just make sure you destroy them. If they're in a dodgy spot, then just make sure you stay back and move very slowly, because you're not going to have first aid. Alarms. If you know there's an alarm in the room, make sure you destroy it. If this isn't destroyed and an enemy activates it, there's going to be an infinite wave of enemies until you destroy it, which will increase the time of every single mission. Okay, so next up we've got ammo can be limited in the underground, so make sure you've got 2 pieces of the Lone Star on you. The reason is because if you put 2 pieces of the Lone Star on, a lot of people do know this, but for the players that don't know this, if you put 2 pieces of Lone Star on, restock, you'll get 75% extra ammo capacity. Then as soon as you take it back off again after you restock, that's it. You'll still keep that ammo, but obviously, you know, it just increases your ammo capacity by a lot. Another thing, I wouldn't advise using mad skills no matter what, because if you've only got one ult for the entire team and it's wasted or whatever, going through a couple of phases and not being able to use an ult, I mean, mad skills is just generally annoying. Another small thing, at the end of a phase, no, you don't even need to be in the elevator at the end. I mean, this is just a small thing, but you just need to be in the room. A lot of people get frustrated with me because I don't get in the elevator, but you just don't need to be in it. Okay, so back to more important things. Reviving. Don't rush revives. I mean, if you die, then they're not going to get revived anyway, so just make sure you don't rush the revive. And if you are down, just make sure you're trying to bleed out in a safe spot. Just don't crawl into the open, because if you crawl into the open, you're just going to mess up your whole team, basically. And if you're in the open, you're just not going to get revived. Okay, so next up we've got skills. Now this is very important to complete the mission. First off, you want a smart cover on your team. Whoever's got the highest skill power should run smart cover. This brings a lot of damage resistance to the team and extra damage. You should use the recharger mod on it, so you get extra skill cooldown speed. Excuse me. And you know, it's just going to help you survive a lot. If you've got, yeah, okay. So you should also have one pulse on the team, so you know where the enemies are, and you've got a lot of extra team DPS from the pulse. Next up, you should either use flashbang or gas seeker mine. The gas seeker mine's actually really good, just for a bit of CC in case you're getting rushed. Or if you don't want to use two of them on the team, you can use one support station. Use immune if you've got the special forces on. This will be really helpful, so you're not getting EMP'd, set on fire from the cleaners or whatever. Or you can use ammo cache, because if you've got waste not want not directive on, your ammo is going to be limited, so the ammo cache will help a lot. You still have to deplete your mag if you want to take full advantage of the ammo cache, but you know, it will help a lot. Also, the ammo cache gives you faster skill recovery, which is very nice. Finally, just learn the rooms. Each room layout is the same. You will get to know the rooms. The rooms can change slightly with some barriers and stuff like that, but you know. Also keep in mind that there's different types of rooms. There's the combat rooms where enemies will be, and then there will be the corridors where the loot will be, so you will get to know these. And you can also learn where the best spots are in them rooms and stuff like that. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned anything, please give the video a like. Also subscribe if you want more videos like this.